to school. Time for another episode of KHU 11 Superintendent Talk. Joining me today, Pearland ISD Superintendent Dr. Larry Berger. He's been here quite a few times before. Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm always glad to be here. We're kicking off the school year. I know when I'm sitting across from you, the kids are coming and we're ready to go.
You are ready. How was summer?
Fantastic. You know, we got to welcome new teachers in. We got to get our curriculum rolling. Everybody's ready to get the kids back, the magic back in the building. The atmosphere at Pearland ISD is phenomenal. So summer is just planning and preparing and aligning and making sure we're ready for our community.
Well, we know the ultimate goal is always ensuring student success, but curious to know, entering into a new school year, is there a mission, a motto for this school year, 2026-2027?
We are focused this year on every piece matters. We are making sure that everybody knows. Then the district, it can be heavy. Everybody's carrying a heavy load, a heavy workload, but we want them to know, just carry the piece that matters for you. Carry the piece that you can bring that makes Pearland ISD whole. Because ultimately what we're doing, we're building a district, we're building it proud, but we're building students. And each student's an individual puzzle, and we all have to do our part to make sure we put them together for success. So that's what we're focused on, to make sure that everybody knows you're as important as everybody else, and we can't achieve without you.
It was interesting this year with the KHU 11 Back to School survey. Overall participants deemed bullying to be their number one safety concern. And with hearing that, what specific actions are you taking in Pearland ISD to prevent bullying? We know it's going to happen, right? But what is Pearland ISD doing to prevent it?
Well, it's interesting. We started a strategic plan last year, and bullying was one of the major things. We have 4 categories. We have students, staff, community, and finance, and bullying was at the top of the list. And we had a marker in there. We were doing progress measures and everything else, and it just wasn't landing right with me. So I have a student ambassador group. And I told them, I was like, guys, I tell them all the time, we have 20,000 customers and we never listen to you. So how do we fix this? Because we get stuck in administration because there's a legal definition of bullying that would follow with TEA in the state, but it doesn't take care of if I feel bad, if I feel excluded, if I feel insulted, if I feel like somebody's been unkind to me. While it may not be legally bullying, it's something we have to address. So the complexity of bullying, I asked the kids, what do we need to do? They gave us some marching orders, if you will. They said, reporting has to be better, Mr. Berger. How do we report something? How do we make sure it's anonymous? How can we trust it? And then how do we know it's being followed up on? Because a lot of times a parent will report something, a student will report something, and they feel like it just goes in the other world, that we never hear anything back. So the other part was communication, making sure we get back with the student that reported it, making sure we get back with the parent that reported it. Did we handle the issue that we needed to handle and address it? Because when someone bullies your child or makes your child feel bad, you want that child to go away. Well, we can't do that. We have to mitigate that. And it's not just when bullying happens, we have to make sure that we build a culture that stops it from happening, a culture of respect, a culture of kindness, a culture of integrity. And so that's what we continue to tackle, to make sure our communication is good, make sure everybody understands the definition of what is bullying and what is not bullying, how to address it, and how to take care of each other.
Do you think bullying has moved up in ranks as top concerns because of also social media and what's going on there? And is there bullying that's happening there that's finding its way into a classroom, into a hall at a high school?
That's 100% the hardest thing. I mean, keyboard courage. When you're anonymous and you're on your phone or you're on your keyboard and you can type those mean things out there and you push it out in the world, and it happens outside of the school day. But nothing outside of the school day stays outside of the school day. So if they do text at 11 o'clock at night, 7 a.m. in the morning, they're talking about it. They're feeling it. There's a problem there. It messes with the culture of our schools. So yes. So we talk about that. We talk about digital citizenship and making sure you understand all words, even typed words on a social media platform or a Snapchat or an Instagram or a picture or anything that you do, a meme you create, an AI. AI now with bullying, it's also getting very creative. We have to make sure that
How so?
Well, because I can take a picture of you and make you look like something that you don't look like, make you look worse than you look, makes you wear clothes that you make you look bigger, and just all types of things. They can be very creative. A lot of times we talk about if students were more creative in the classroom than they were outside of the classroom, they would all be straight A students. But yes, so social media, AI, all those things, we want to make sure that we're educating our students that don't do these things, and this is why. Why is it important to make sure we treat everybody with kindness, make sure that you're always respectful to everybody, because you don't want them to do it to you, so don't do it to them. And we have to figure out how to address that. While it may not be bullying per se, we have to address every issue that causes another student to feel isolated, to feel excluded, to feel hurt. Because like I said, every piece matters. We want everybody to belong.
I want to go back to, you mentioned the student ambassador group, because I think that's really insightful, right? It's like having boots on the ground amongst the people. Who are these student ambassadors? Is this mostly at the high school level, or is this at every
It's
age and
8th through
stage.
12th grade. So any student can want to be a part of it. There's a small application that they fill out. I don't take only AP kids. I don't take only athletics or fine arts. It's a mixture of all students because I need to hear from all of our kids. So I have 120 on the roster. About 85 show up every month. We have a monthly meeting and we sit down and we build the agenda together and figure out what do we want to talk about? What do we want to address? I ask them, what are the problems going on in the district I need to know about, and how do we fix those? And then each campus, junior high and high school, has a campus ambassador program that they're a part of. So what we talk about at the district level gets brought back down to the campus so that we are aligned and coordinated in trying to fix the concerns of our students.
Now, amongst other safety concerns, and a parent in Pearland ISD expressed was, of course, an active shooter situation. What measures are in place to address gun safety and other external threats that might find their way into a Pearland ISD school?
Well, the number one thing is understanding, training, and drilling. Like I said, we sent out a survey. We do it for our staff as well. And the highest scoring thing that we received was they feel prepared to handle an emergency. We do a drill week to start the year with all of our students. We do education to make sure, report it. If you see something, say something. Even if you hear something, say something. We want to respond to every issue, every threat. It's through education. We also push out to our community. If you have guns, and it's okay if you have gun safety. Lock them up. Make sure they're not available. Know where they are. Know if your student knows where they are and have those conversations with them. We always want to be vigilant in what we're doing. We want to mitigate the issue, but we want to prevent the issue. So we are constantly on top of not only active shooter, but any safety concern, whether you have an intruder on campus, whether doors are being unlocked. Anything that we can do to make sure our students feel safe, that's what we will always do. And on the survey, 91 score was what the students said. When we asked them, do you feel safe at school? 91% of them said, yes, I do.
Remind me, do you have officers at every campus?
We have we partner with the City of Pearland. So we have SRO officers at the junior high and high school, and we have armed security guards at elementary and middle school.
So is there a policy at Pearland ISD in regard to e-bikes, scooters, mini bikes?
There's not a policy. There's safety processes or safety protocols. Actually, the City of Pearland and the police department are rolling out some ordinances on these, from e-bikes to motorbikes to e-motorcycles. There's 4 different categories of these mode of transportation, if you will. Where you can ride them, where you can't ride them, is a helmet required. And so they're pushing that out, and us in partnership, what we've asked all our principals to do is the first day of school, the first weeks of school, when you see the students that have these scooters, that have these e-bikes, let's have a meeting with them. Like back in the day, we used to do bicycle safety, and we go over where to ride a bike, where
That's
to
a
walk
throwback.
a bike. Yeah, and now you got to do it with e-bikes. And so we want to do the same thing. We want to bring them together, talk about the safety. It's just as important when you're driving through cars and you're cutting through lanes and knowing the safety of that, because on a bicycle, you might be going 5 miles an hour. On these devices, you might be going 30 miles an hour. So let's make sure that we're being safe with what we're doing, where we walk them in the crosswalk, where they park them, how do they secure them, do you have a helmet, do you know the rules? And so it's really an education process. It's not a policy or a prohibitive item.
Have your principals noticed more and more on campus, though, more students using that mode of transportation?
Yes, ma'am. 100%. Some campuses more than others because of proximity or neighborhoods. But yes, definitely the scooters and the e-bikes. And I was surprised. I went up to school one time and it looked like a motorcycle. And I was like, why does a junior high kid have a motorcycle? But it was an e-bike. It was just decked out like a motorcycle.
Yeah, some of them can look like mini dirt
pretty
bikes
tough.
almost.
I mean, it's like road warrior when they're out there riding around.
kind of cool looking, but we want the kids to be
safe, 100%.
always.
And it's about education. It's just letting them know.
The majority of students, I assume, take the bus as their mode of transportation. We had a parent ask what is being done to prevent buses from not showing up or being unavailable for afternoon transportation.
What I would say to anybody is, if you want to help us out, come get your CDL and let's drive a bus. That's one of the hard things is getting bus drivers. Yes, getting just like sometimes there's a shortage of teachers, there's a shortage of bus drivers. And so what'll happen is even if there's not a shortage, like at any job, there might be a call out. Somebody was sick, there's a family emergency, something's going on. So that route that was planned, and we have a 3-tier route system. There's an elementary, a middle, and a high school. And so if somebody's out, that's 3 tiers of buses that aren't running. So somebody's got to pick up that route, if you will. Sometimes we combine buses if we can, but our buses are full and we can't. So somebody has to run their 3 routes, then come back and run the other 3 routes, and that's why it gets delayed. Mm-hmm. We try to work on communication. We try to work on routing. We have a brand new director of transportation, Mr. Shields, who's absolutely amazing. And I've told him, look, we have certain buses that are always late. There's a bus at Jameson Middle School. I have a parent that talks to me all the time. Mr. Berger, why is this bus late again? If we're having those issues, let's look at the totality of what we're doing. And if we can make that one not be late every day, but alternate or switch if we have to, let's work on that. Let's be more efficient. Let's be more effective. And communication's the key. I think our parents get most upset. They can understand a bus being late. They can't understand if the communication is poor. And sometimes the transportation app that we use, maybe it's not being communicated well, because if the office personnel is out on buses, there's nobody in the office to communicate that the bus is late to the individuals. And so we just have to work on our internal operational and logistics to make sure that communication is clear.
Do you have enough bus drivers for this school year?
This year we're starting out, knocking on wood here at the table, we are starting out with enough bus drivers. I actually have transportation kickoff tomorrow morning with all the bus drivers to welcome them to the new school year because they're the first face and the last face our students see. So we need them to understand how important they are and the culture that they set for our school district. So right now, we're feeling pretty good. Some of our upper leadership in transportation, we're still looking for applicants. But if you are a bus driver or want to be a bus driver and be part of the best district in the state of Texas, come to Pearland ISD and we'll put you on a bus.
Yeah. So the idea is even if you are up to staff, there could still be these delays.
100%. Whether someone gets sick or someone's out or someone decides they want to go work somewhere else. I mean, unfortunately, that happens. There's turnover in bus drivers as there are in many hourly positions.
Got it. I want to move on to one that was a big talker. Lots of questions about this. New graduation requirements. We've heard so much about other legislation that was passed and that would affect our schools, but it seems like this one went under the radar and then bam, here it is. Tell us, first of all, what is the new graduation requirement?
Okay, I want to be clear. The state of Texas has not passed a new graduation requirement. Pearland ISD did.
Okay.
It's a local decision, not a state decision. So,
thank you for that clarification.
So what we decided to do is CCMR, you may have heard that, College Career Military Readiness. That is one of the driving factors for TEA, the commissioner, it's some of the accountability. But that's not why we decided to do it. In Pearland ISD, we want to make sure that the diploma is not just a piece of paper. It means something. So we want to make sure our students, when they start ninth grade, that they know where they're going, and we give them the opportunities to get there. Whether it's college, and we make sure you're taking the ACT, the SAT, the TSIA, or whether it's career, we got you lined up in the career pathway, you're taking the industry-based certification, so when you graduate, you can go right to work. Or you're ready for the military. You got the ASFAB, and we've prepared you for that. Wherever you want to go, we want to make sure you get there, because once you walk across that stage, you're walking into life.
What if I don't know where I want to go as a student?
Well, we're going to figure that out. That's what our counselors are for. That's what our guidance is for. And you're not pigeonholed into one or the other. You can do all three. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you would like to do because we have those pathways with those opportunities before you. Even if you don't know where you want to go, we want to make sure you have the credentials to be able to get there when you do decide. Because it may be you graduate and it's 3 years later and you're like, oh, I'd like to go to college. Well, you pass the SAT, you pass the ACT, you pass the TSIA. We remove those barriers from you. Some people, when we said we were going to do this and made the requirement, the board got behind it, was we put another barrier in place for our kids. We didn't put a barrier. We want to make sure our students are prepared to overcome the barriers after graduation.
I see. So this is just a Pearland ISD requirement. Someone did ask, does the district believe the new requirements place too much pressure on high school students?
I don't, because again, what is the goal? The goal of graduation is not to just get a diploma and be done with 12 years of public education. The goal is to make sure you're prepared for whatever comes next. And that's my job. My job is to make sure that we are creating the best citizens, the best employees that are moving forward to move our country, because we have to continue to fill those jobs. I can't, in good conscience, do my job and let a student leave our high school and not have opportunities in front of them. But to go along with that, let's say, because someone asked me, what if somebody moves from Louisiana their junior year and weren't part of Texas? What happens? Well, it's not draconian. We deal with people. We deal with students. It's not
There's
black and white. There's
flexibility there.
Yes, ma'am. Just like there is with the STAR test, there are individual graduation planning meetings that you can work around some of these things. And so that's what we do with those students. We're not going to prevent any student from graduating, from getting their diploma if they met all the credits, as long as they attempted, as long as we have some reasonable expectation for what they did and what we can help them become.
Okay, keeping with curriculum and moving away from graduation requirements, a parent asked, can students have more options for required language credits, including American Sign Language?
And so the simple answer is yes. The hard answer is getting that into a classroom, making the class and getting the teacher to teach that. We've actually, because of our population, we focus mostly on Spanish, as most high schools do. We also offer French. We've had requests for Chinese. We've had requests for American Sign Language. So we continue to reflect on those and what we can do in our curriculum and in our classrooms and getting those teachers, and do we have space in our master schedule.
And now moving on to another really big issue for families out there, the financial challenges. Folks are feeling the financial pressure. They express that to us time and time again within the survey. First question up, and hoping for some clarification here as well. A parent had asked, why doesn't Pearland ISD provide free meals to all students like some neighboring districts?
What may be confusing about that is the free meals aren't necessarily free. The free meals are qualified for. You fill out the free reduced application determining on your income level and your family size, and you qualify for a certain level, either reduced or free. And then it is funded through the federal government and state programs. We don't have enough low socioeconomic in Pearland ISD to offer all that.
Those neighboring districts likely have a different socioeconomic
yes, ma'am. There are some
demographic.
school districts that have 90% low socioeconomic. Pearland ISD is at 36% low socioeconomic. So for us to offer free meals, they wouldn't be free because we would have to find the budget money to pay for them. And so the federal government wouldn't step in, the state government wouldn't step in because the families wouldn't qualify for those free meals. So if we offered it, Pearland ISD taxpayers would have to pay for it.
But you do realize there may be some families in between who don't exactly qualify
100%.
but are still struggling.
And so I go back to our community. So meal charges happen. So maybe a family may not be on free or reduced or haven't filled out the form or don't qualify, but still the bills are outrageous. My mortgage is outrageous. The gas is outrageous. Grocery bills are out, eggs, whatever. I'm tight. Yeah, Mr. Berger, I make more than what it says I need to, but I can't afford these. So we have our community step up a lot. We have local businesses. We have local individuals that will donate money to our outreach department, put it into food service bank accounts for students, to where if you need to charge a meal or you've racked up maybe for the last 3 or 4 days, you've charged a meal every day because you didn't have any money, then we have community that will help pay for those so that the kid's not carrying a debt, so that the family's not carrying a debt. While we can't cover everybody for a free meal,
I was about to say, be
community-
careful what you share.
No,
Suddenly
but
everyone...
our community is always out there to help because they realize it is hard times. And when you're able to give, our community gives. And so we continue to look at that.
So another question we had from a parent was, could free after-school care be offered for kindergarten students?
Could it?
Could it?
I don't know.
Is it?
That's a big ask. That's something I'd have to look into. I've never had that requested because once we throw around free. We throw around free transportation or free meals or free. Somebody's paying for it.
Right. Someone is supplementing those
Somebody
costs.
has to. Somebody has to supplement what we're doing. And so we would have to figure that out. We do have some grants that go through with our communities in school to where there is some discounted and some free partnerships. But unfortunately, that 21st Century grant was not renewed. So when the federal government looks at their grants and what they are going to give out, they cut that one. So we didn't get that one renewed. So that was one of the cuts. And so we continue to work to find ways to get grants where that is needed, where after-school care is needed that may be too expensive to go out in a public domain.
I see. So this year after year, and it's interesting, we've been doing this for 6 years, right? The superintendent talk, the STAR test and STAR prep.
I've never heard of it.
Right, exactly. What is this? What is this assessment? But every year it finds its way into our survey, and we have questions from folks. The first one is, does the district really need so many STAR preparation and mock testing days?
How many do you think we have?
I'm going to guess that maybe less than half a dozen.
Way less than half a dozen. Okay. So when people talk, you hear it a lot in public education. All you do is teach to the test. That's all you do is teach to the test. That's not true. What we do is we teach the TEKS. We teach the TEKS.
And remind people what TEKS are.
The TEKS are the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. So every course has a list of TEKS, and you can go on the website and type in TEKS, and it'll pull it up. From kindergarten all the way up to high school, every course has a TEK. This is what you're required to teach. That's what we teach. The test measures that. It measures the TEKS. And so when we talk about mock exams, we have something called benchmarks. It's not for STAR. It's for the TEKS. Are the students learning what we're asking them to learn? If we don't assess, whether it's a 3-week assessment, a 6-week assessment, a 9-week, a semester, how do we know the kids are learning? If we start teaching in August and don't test until the end of the year, and we find out, oh no, the kids didn't learn anything, that's an autopsy. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure we're doing progress monitoring checks, that the kids are getting what they need, that they're learning how they need to learn, and then when they're not, how do we adjust the instruction? We don't blame the student, because obviously if we think we taught it and we give an assessment and they weren't successful, it's not the kid that failed, we failed. It's our job to make sure that they learned it by what we taught. And so we have to go back and reteach, reassess, do interventions, and make sure that's taken care of. So we allow the kids to work through the TEKS to pass the test. And along that way, we do have to give progress measures.
I think there's so much anxiety around this test for the student oftentimes, and the parent feels
1000%.
that. What's being done to mitigate that anxiety during those times and leading up to preparing for the STAR, and then, of course, the actual STAR test itself?
Well, I think the anxiety is going to increase, because I was going to say next year, the game changes a little bit.
Oh boy, how so?
Well, next year is when the state has set out to where now there's going to be a beginning of the year test, a middle of the year test, and an end of the year STAR. And so the state is
4 different tests. Three. I'm sorry.
Beginning of the year, middle of the year, and the end of year STAR.
Okay.
So the state is saying, just like you said, why do you give so many tests? Well, the state is now mandated. You have to give a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's all about STAR accountability. And their rationale is the same as mine. We have to make sure that the kids are learning along the way and not wait till the end of the STAR test. So there's going to be a little bit more anxiety, because now you're going to be thinking, I have 3 STAR tests, because you may have heard on the news, we got rid of the STAR test. Not true. We did not get rid of the STAR test. The state did not get rid of the STAR test.
That's a little confusing.
That didn't happen. So there's now 3.
Does it have a different name?
They're PRing it, if you will, but it's still STAR. It's still the same thing. But to get back to your question, you have to take away that anxiety and that pressure. You, as a teacher, as a superintendent, as a principal, as a parent, you can't put all the onus on this test. It's a moment in time. If a student takes a test and they didn't pass, if you will, if they didn't hit approaches or hit meets or hit masters, did you have growth? Did you do better this time than you did last time? That's what we're looking for. We're looking for growth. Are you getting better? Because that's all that matters. It's not a test against you versus the state. It's you versus you. We want to make sure you're better today than you were yesterday and better tomorrow. And just let them know it's just one test. It's not going to end your career. You're not going to not graduate. We're going to make sure that you get there through support, intervention, and care. When we put so much pressure on the kid, that's when that anxiety happens. If all we do is talk about STAR, that's why that happens, and we have to get away from that. It's just a test. It's just like a final or a semester exam or a quiz. It's just a test. Show me what you know, and we'll move on.
Let's talk about teacher retention and recruitment. A parent asked, how does the district plan to address teacher shortages and burnout? One, do you have teacher shortages? Burnout is another thing.
We just welcomed 136 new teachers, whether 0 year or new to Pearland ISD last week at Welcome Week, which was phenomenal. We are currently, I just had my cabinet meeting this morning, there are still a few teacher positions that haven't been found, and unfortunately they're in special education. For life skills or pairs classrooms or behavior classrooms. The hard-to-serve students, those are the hard-to-find teachers, so we keep pushing out there to find the best. There are some teachers that are certified, but they may not meet the mustard that we want to be in those classrooms with those students. So those are difficult ones to find, and we keep searching for that. How you do retention and burnout is you make sure the teachers are supported. But a lot of times, even when I'm sitting at my desk, I want to do things. I want to add things. I want to do innovation. I want to do a new system or a new program. Well, what are you taking away? The teacher still only has the amount of time that they have. They still only have the 45-minute planning period. They still only have after school. They have everything that's crammed into the day that they have. Do you want them to work 16 hours a day and even on the weekend and still? No, that's where the burnout happens. So we in administration, we as superintendents, campus leaders, school boards have to realize, if we're going to add things, what are we taking away? What barriers are we removing? How do we make sure that the teacher can focus on what they're supposed to do, which is teaching? I think if you support teachers, if you let them know they matter, if you give them a breather, if you allow them to have the space that they need, and let them be professionals. Stop telling teachers what to do in the classroom when they've been doing it for 20 years and they've been successful. Let them tell you. Go watch a good teacher. Go watch a master teacher. Go watch a brand new teacher and see where they may be struggling and where you can give support. Let teachers speak to you sometimes instead of always us speaking to them.
Another question from the survey. A parent asked, why are teacher positions being reduced while administrative positions increase?
Teacher positions are based on enrollment. So as enrollment declines, the numbers of teachers decline because that's just, it has to happen. We can't continue to have the same number of teachers if we have 1,000 less students. But sometimes at the White House, if you will, at ESC or central administration that teachers talk about, they may look at, you added a position, Mr. Berger. We didn't have that position before. Like I'll speak, for example, we have an assistant superintendent that's retiring. I needed some help in curriculum and instruction. So instead of replacing that assistant superintendent, I asked the board to approve an executive director of curriculum instruction. It's a lower paid position. I didn't add more administrative positions. I took one and made it another. And sometimes we do that at ESC, and people will look at that and go, oh, that person got a new job or that person got a new job, but I didn't get a new teacher. Enrollment versus reorganization may sometimes be looked at in a negative way. But also in looking at our budget, we are right now at ESC going through a budget review, if you will, making sure we're looking at all our positions, all of our budgets, and what cuts can we make at ESC before we make cuts at the campus. And so that has to happen. Our goal is to make sure any budget cut that's impacted due to enrollment hits away from the classroom as far as possible before we touch the classroom.
Thank you for that information. This also is a big one across the board in most school districts. Parents asking about Texas Senate Bill 10. This regards the posting of the 10 Commandments within classrooms. You guys got to jump on this last year, and then we had all these things go on at the Capitol, and then, but it is law.
It is
this
law.
School
it's
year.
gone through court. It was upheld as law, that it's legal based on the law, and if you have these 10 Commandments donated, or if you happen to buy them, then they need to be posted in every educational classroom. And Pearland ISD last year had 10 Commandments donated for all of our classrooms, an original donation, and they were put up last year. And they became a thing. Obviously, it's something new, and it was people were worried what would happen, and would we teach to it, and would it be a lesson? It's a poster on the wall, and it's become commonplace. Kids come in and don't pay attention to it. Teachers don't look at it. It's there, and we keep it there.
And if they were to ask about it, ask about the poster as student?
What we ask the teachers to say, that's the law. It has to be up there. You can read it and understand it. If you have questions about it, we ask that you talk to your family.
In closing, what is it that you want students to be excited about this school year?
The opportunities in front of you. I want every student to know the opportunities in front of you are too great. The outcomes are too important. What you do every day is building your future, and I am blessed to be a part of that. I am a part to support you, to be there for you, to celebrate you, to pick you up when you fall down, to push you when you're running. Whatever you need, that's what we're here for, and I want them to know that. I say it all the time. I am the proud superintendent of Pearland ISD, not because of anything I do, but because of what I'm able to witness. Witness in our students, witness in our teachers, and witness in our community. I want our students to know that even on your worst day, you're the best we have. Continue to do that, continue to show up, and every day together, we'll build Pearland proud.
Is there any milestone, achievement, new building, anything that we should be looking forward to?
Thanksgiving. Pearland ISD will be at the 100th annual Macy's Day Thanksgiving Day Parade. We are the only band in Texas that is going. Obviously, there was the 100th year, and they were like, who can we bring? Pearland ISD. So the Pride of Pearland Marching Band.
You're not biased.
Turn on the TV, watch the parade, and you will see greatness happening as they walk down the streets of New York. So we're very proud about that.
That's exciting. You're going to be there, I assume.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to try to be the Grand Marshal, but I don't know if they'll allow me to do that.
Don't they know who Dr. Larry Berger is? Let him lead. Let him lead. Well, we appreciate your time, as always, for joining us for the Superintendent Talk. Wishing you and all the students, teachers, and staff and families of Pearland ISD the very best school year. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you and always KHOU for showcasing education.